Hey Bulldog fans, Jalen Johnson with Hill State Productions. Welcome to another episode of Family Sit Down. Today we are sitting down with 6-year senior Leilua.
Hello.
Do you feel like the old person on the team now?
Yes, I do. Mentally young, physically old, for sure 100%, but my teammates are always there to remind me that I am old.
How does it feel to you to have this extra year? Because it's a bonus year that you didn't think you were gonna get.
Most definitely a blessing. It's something that, that not everybody can say. I got a 6-year in my college career, and I'm definitely taking advantage on the academic aspect of it. So yeah, it's definitely a blessing in disguise.
Bulldog fans know you as a record holder, this offensive machine, ready to go. But when you started softball, that wasn't the case, was it?
Yeah, no, it was just little old Fa.
How old were you when you started playing softball?
10. Yeah.
How'd you get started? Who started you out?
My dad, oh my gosh. So he's looking on the newspaper and he was like, oh my God, we're gonna put you in softball. 10-year-old me, I was like, oh, whatever. I was an active kid already. I was, just an outdoor sport kid. I was like, yeah, let's do it, whatever. He got all this not even equipment, it was just clothing. And the color was blue. And so he said, change into this. We gotta go, we're late. And I was like, for what?
He had a plan.
On spot. And so I took me to the car, went to the park, and I see this game going on, a whole softball game going on. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, all right. So we get out and he's talking to the lady at the dugout, and it was a team in blue and their team name was Dodgers. And I go and he was like, all right, go over there. I go, excuse me? You said go with the, all right, okay, hi. Just awkward old me. And I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And the lady was like, oh, so you played softball before? No, I don't even know what this is at all. So my first at bat, I get on and I put the bat on the wrong side and I was standing on home base as if that was my mark to stand. The umpire was like, excuse me, you gotta be in the box. Oh yeah, and I was like, yeah, I know, yep. And literally at the time, in rec ball, the balls would loop and just kind of drop into the glove. And at that time I was like, whoa, that's so fast. My gosh. And so I was like, oh my God, yeah. So I swing after the pitch is caught and the umpire's like, strike, that's a strike. I was like, okay. So then I actually walked my first at bat.
Okay.
I went to third.
Oh, okay,
Wrong way, right? And so I was like, this is amazing. I'm having so much fun embarrassing myself. Got a bucket of tennis balls because at the time softballs were pretty expensive. So he was like, I'm gonna get the 5 for a 5 deal. Yeah. And then so we went to my backyard. He set up a net. It was a fish net because
that's what we had.
Exactly.
Right.
And he got a stick. He made this tee version with the tennis ball and just told me to try to hit the object that was on the ball. So then that's how we started. And yeah, it was from there on out.
And it paid off.
It did.
You're not running to third base anymore.
Exactly. I am actually running to first, and I know where to stand in the box. So, yeah.
So he was big inspiration for you for
huge
softballing.
Yeah, he was definitely, anything I tried out, he wanted me to be the best at. And so that way I would never experience an embarrassing moment ever. But yeah, I definitely get my athleticism from him.
And since then, he has passed away.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely kind of a traumatic event for me that is something I never thought I was gonna just even experience. He treated it as a typical night, and it was just kind of weird. The way he was treating it, he was just eating. He's telling my mom's like, hey, can you cook like basically all his favorite foods, Samoan foods? And my mom was like, no, you don't need all that, whatever. And he already had health issues, but you know, my dad being very stubborn, you know how dads are, and it was he had his meal, and you know, he went to sleep, went to my parents' room, and I was like, good night, you know, whatever, I'm going to my bed. And then later on, it was later on that night, I woke up at like 3:45, went downstairs, used the bathroom, and usually their door is open, and usually I hear him snore loud. And so you know, now that I think about it, I didn't hear nothing. It was completely silent. But you know, you being woken up at like 3 a.m. going to use the bathroom, right. You didn't know.
Don't think anything of
yeah.
it.
And go to sleep. I went back and I go to sleep. You know how you have this nagging feeling where somebody's like kind of waking you up, but you're in that slight sleep. So, and I heard my dad's voice when I was younger. He would always, you know, say goodbye, and he would say, bye, Fafa, bye, sweetheart, I'm going to work. And so I was just like, I'm like slowly getting out of my dream, like sleeping, and then like a couple minutes later, I hear screaming from the room, my mom and my sister and my brother, and it was around like 4 o'clock, and I ran downstairs, and I see my brother trying to give my dad CPR, and I see my sister she's in complete shock, yelling, and my mom is trying to call 911, and I'm rushing, and I just see my dad just kind of just a body, you know, at that point. And so I couldn't fathom to the fact that like he was gone. And so sorry. And so it was hard to see, kind of just, you know, something taken away from you like that. And so, and see the people you love trying so hard to, you know, grab themselves together, you know. And so as soon as I see him, the grandkids were upstairs as well. So they were woken up, and so I ran back upstairs because they were about to come downstairs, and I didn't want them to see their grandfather that way. So I went to them, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay," and they were crying too, and I was like, "Don't cry, it's okay. Grandpa's gonna be okay." As soon as they were, you know, put back in the room, I go back downstairs, and I'm you know, knocking on my dad's chest and trying to, you know, some sort of just life, but you just know, but you keep fighting just to see any reaction. But I could feel his body becoming cold, and it was just like, you didn't want to accept it. It was hard. And from there on, I was pretty sure I was numb. I couldn't even, there were just no emotions, no feeling. You couldn't really understand it. And so from there on, numb. I was trying to pick up my brothers and sisters and kind of just tell them it's gonna be okay. And I think the hardest part was just trying to get my mom to be okay, because I was scared for her well-being, and it was just kind of just because that was her partner, that was her best friend, that was, you know, ride or die. I had to give myself time, you know. Within just 2 weeks, I had to grab myself together, trying to hold up as if I was, you know, it was going to be okay when knowingly it wasn't. So
I know that's hard because I know you guys were really close.
Yeah.
Describe what your relationship was like.
Oh man, I have the best parts of him. I have the jokester side of him, the clown. We grew up learning softball together, and just kind of being there for each other. And no matter what, that was my go-to guy, that was my best friend, that was my road dog, you know? To just accept that he was, the physical of him, part of him was not there anymore. But I do know that, you know, he's still here, he's still with me. And every day, every decisions I make, every reaction I get is a constant reminder of him. And then and the stories I hear from my my uncles and my cousins and my aunt is amazing. And they always tell me that I always remind them of him.
You were saying like during that whole experience that you were helping out your mom and trying to help out your brothers and sisters. And I know the Samoan culture is really big in family.
Yeah.
And so do you think that having that foundation and that already kind of being one of the pillars of that family, did that help you guys through the grieving process?
Most definitely. I do appreciate that culture. I mean, just giving me that, you know, culture-based foundation of just kind of just always having that family atmosphere. And because of that, I had an amazing emotional support, moral support, and not only within my family, but within other families that I ventured out throughout my softball career and travel ball and to college, and the amount of friends and families that I've created. Not only you could be related and have family by blood, but by relationships.
Was there ever a point that you thought you would quit softball completely?
Man, there was, but it was not in me to quit, because that was nothing that my dad passed for. We didn't work too hard to just throw it all away. And that was not in me to do that. And so, if anything, that was a push for me to make a statement, to demand my future, that I'm gonna finish it. And so, it hit home for me when I did graduate. That was the biggest thing that my dad always wanted for his kids. And so, and to be the only child in my immediate family to go to college and graduate was just cherry on top. I never think to imagine that I could say I'm getting 2 degrees, I'm gonna go get my master's. You know, it's something that I could put my name, his last name, on a paper that is gonna live with me for the rest of my life.
After you kind of took some time and you decided that state was where you wanted to carry on your career, what went into that decision?
There was no doubt that I was gonna come here as soon as I set foot in this campus. It was amazing. I love the atmosphere that that was created within the institution and the programs, and it was just something I needed. It was something that I was in dire need of that love again, of that love for softball, and just you know, having that sense of purpose of life again. And I haven't had that since, you know, he passed. And so, you know, visiting here, and you know, especially when Sarai knew was here, and obviously Ricketts, and now Chloe, and it was just like an automatic decision.
What are those moments where you feel like you feel him the most?
The time I felt him the most was stepping my first step on the field, coming here, and it was amazing. I didn't care if I went over. I didn't care if I had an error. I was just there in the moment of seeing the joy of you know, being on the field and just being back in that atmosphere. And I could just feel his presence, and it was just amazing. There was nothing that could dim that light of mine that was shining so bright. And it was just like, I didn't care anything. That's when I felt him the most. And getting my degree was definitely, he was there. And I always envisioned myself giving my degree to him. It's like, here's my gift.
That's yours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Last season you guys got to play in California, so you got to see your family. What was that experience like?
It was, man, it was a lot of emotions going through my head. At the same time, I was like, don't let it get to you. Just play your, play your best. Have fun. You're home. And it wasn't until later on during that tournament, I think it was our last day, second to last day, that I finally got a home run. And I was just like, when I did hit that, I was just like, man, it's just a huge weight just came off my shoulders. Like, hey. When I was talking about going home after hitting every base and seeing my teammates there was just overwhelming. It's hitting home. When I hit home, I hit home.
So in 2019, you said that season was for him. 2020, you said that season was going to be for you.
Yeah.
And now you get your bonus season.
Yeah.
So what is this bonus season going to be for?
I think this season's just going to be kind of just living in the moment of enjoying every moment I'm experiencing. It's just be in it. I think people take for granted on a lot of things, and I did too. And now that we, I get this year back, I'm just ready and excited to just go through for whatever future holds. So I'm at this point, I'm playing for the both of us.
Well, you are covered with love and support because we love you, and I know this family does not replace or make you forget about your family, but we love you, so we hope that you feel all the love. I wish I could hug you right now. Thank you for sitting down with me today, and Bulldog fans, we will see you on the next episode of Family Sit Down. Hail State.